Welcome to Success Life Live and the YouTube edition. My name is Eric Reed. I am a coach and I am your host. I'm so glad that you've stopped along and discovered us or are following us now. Take a moment and hit the follow, the like, the comment button, whatever you got to do so that you know that when I put up new content, you're the first one notified. What kind of content can you expect? Well, here I try and share some basic business practices and principles designed for those who are entrepreneurs, mompreneurs, dadpreneurs, solopreneurs, dream builders, multi-level marketers. You tell me what you're doing and I'll be able to help craft a solution to help you grow your business. And in the meantime, I'm going to share with you 5 tips on really how to use social media, how to begin to get into this social media thing. Now, I know we've been talking a lot about it lately here on Success Life Live here on YouTube, but I want to just sort of one more time point out some things, make some suggestions, give you some things to think about so that as you approach social media, as you approach building your business through Facebook and LinkedIn and Pinterest and Instagram and Google Plus or whatever it is, that you begin to understand how to use it instead of just diving in it, winging it and flinging it, as I often say. So the first one is reinforce your brand. Now, so often, and I see this maybe a little bit more in the coaching industry than anywhere else, but the idea of having a brand. What is your brand? So often we think as coaches and entrepreneurs and creative people that we're the brand. No, we're the vehicle that delivers the brand, that delivers the message, that delivers the product. We in ourselves, unless you happen to be one of those family members of Bruce Jenner or Kris Jenner or Kardashian or whatever you want to call it, unless you're one of those, you're not really a brand. You may be an influencer, but you as the individual are not the brand. So everything that you do on social media has to be built around what your brand or brand message or brand solution provides. So when you think of your brand, think of the question, what problem do I solve? What pain do I relieve? What gift do I give? Now, how is that my brand? And how is that reflected in what I do live, whether it's through Facebook or Pinterest or Instagram or Google Plus or whatever it is? What am I saying and how is that constantly being pulled back into my brand, into my product, into my thought, into my space? It's interesting. I'll look at somebody's Facebook page and they've got like one thing going on over here, and then I'll go over to Pinterest and it's like this thing's going on over here and out on LinkedIn, and I'm like, I'm confused. Who are they? What is their product? What is their message? What is their thing? What pain are they trying to solve in my life that I want to go out and buy it? I always use the P90X example, and it's partly because it's so clearly done. P90X sells the product, and it's not the CDs, it's not the rubber bands, it's not the drink. The product is that 6-pack sexy abs summer look. Now, all of the things that are built around it are only tools that facilitate that product, that pain relief, that idea that this summer I am not going to show up being the fat old man at the pool. I'm going to be the sexy looking one with the abs and the tight, the whole thing. P90X never veers away from that message of you can be a better you, you can be a fitter you, you can be a stronger you, you can be a tighter you, whatever it is. And then they create a bunch of different vehicles for that to be achieved. And the message is different on video versus TV versus live versus Pinterest versus Instagram. But it all comes back to that single thing, building a better you, building a better body. So number 1, reinforce your brand over and over and over again. Don't go randomly running rogue on Facebook, but try and build a business through LinkedIn because people will check you out everywhere. Now, not every message has to be duplicated and Xerox copied and plastered everywhere the same way, but they have to have some continuity. They have to have some commonality. They have to have some common voice for me to be able to link to so that I can begin to know, like, and trust you so that I can move into buying from you. Number 2 on my list I had is be thoughtful about when and how you post. So different products and different mediums are approached by people at different times of days, in different mind space, in different head space. And the other thing when I say this is be consistent. If you're going to start something like this, like a YouTube channel, you can't show up and do 5 videos and then disappear for a month and then do 2 and then show up for a weekend and do 3. And the inconsistency is going to cause your audience, your client or potential client to be like, you know what, they're inconsistent. And so I lost trust, I lost confidence in them, and I'm not willing to hand over my credit card number to somebody that's not consistent, not reliable, not dependable. Or I'm getting all of these weird random messages and emails and tweets at really funky hours, and it's become obnoxious. As a matter of fact, my spouse is getting concerned because I keep getting these Facebook message tags from somebody that, doesn't belong in our world. So be mindful of the content you create. Be mindful of when you place it. Be mindful of where you place it and how it's being received by your client or potential client. I remember a story shortly after 9/11. This came out through sort of the media press, that there was a whole series of movies and messaging that was scheduled to go out. And as soon as 9/11 happened and the towers went down, there had to be a massive re-scramble because they had programmed their media, their social marketing campaign so far in advance, but the impact of what they were saying and how they were doing it in this movie was so negative and polar opposite of what was going on in the country that they were like, we have to pull it. They had to be mindful that the message that they were sending, the recipient's position, the recipient's view, the recipient's optics, so to speak, had changed, and they had to roll back the message. So on that, be careful when you set up long-term drip campaigns or automatic email blasts, or you have your marketing calendar. Be mindful of what's going on in the communities around you. Be mindful of what's going on in the social space around you. And make sure that you're tweaking and adapting as needed. There's nothing worse than being in the middle of a crisis, a national crisis, or a news alert, and then having somebody's Facebook Live come up that seems oblivious. Get where I'm going? Number 3 is identify your audience and speak to them. What I see happen so often, and this may be a little bit more with multi-level marketers that are more product-based, but they sell. It's like they use social media as another form of reading their brochure or their slick sheet. And it's like, no. The word social appears in the social media thing because it's got to be live, it's got to be social, it's got to be interactive. You've got to know me and then talk to me, not make me listen to you. Did you hear that? You got to talk to me, not make me listen to you. You got to know what problems I'm having and then think of how you can solve it. Customers don't want to know what you know. They want to know that you know them first and foremost. Everybody communicates and few connect. It's a book. Go look it up. It's a great book. If you're going to use social media, know who you want to sell to. Know who you want to talk to. Know whose problem you're seeking to solve. And then speak directly to them. Alleviate their pain. Meet them where they're at. And then bring them to the solution, the idea, the resources that you provide. Don't just make it a sales page. Make it a sales page. We've all got access to your sales page, your landing page, your squeeze page, your Facebook paid ad. If we want to be sold to, we'll go look for it. But if you're doing a Facebook Live, or if you're doing YouTube or Instagram or Insta Stories, people want to engage with you. Now, granted, you have a brand, a voice, that you center those interactions around. I mean, I'm have a voice. It's living a life of success, being successful in your daily and momentary interactions, understanding that success is not some far off distance trophy or award on a stage, but how we live into each moment and grow into each moment and become who we're going to become. Now through that, there are multiple different ways of approaching it and things that I talk about. But I'm not going to jump over and create a knitting channel or a knitting conversation through this channel because it doesn't fit. Now, I'm crafty. I might be able to figure out a way of combining knitting and self-discipline. But get what I'm saying. Don't just sell to people and hope that you land on the right people. Find the people that you want to speak to. Know the people that you want to speak to. Understand the people that you want to be a part of, that want to be part of, you want to be part of their tribe. Add value, add value, add value, add value, add value, add value. And then later ask for the sale. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk wrote the book, Jab, 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 Right Hook. If you haven't read the book, a must read. And so the idea is of a boxer, the jab, 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 right hook. Now understand the boxing analogy that he used. When you jab, you're doing short little punches, short little extensions. You're not extending your arm all the way. You're not using your full force. You're actually drawing the other boxer in closer to you, because as you're jabbing, they're feeling confident enough to step closer to you. You're not exerting all of you're not going for the big hit. You're just, boxer analogy, interacting with them. And then you deliver the right hook. You fully extend. You put everything you've got into it. And by now they're close enough, the other boxer in this analogy, that you connect. When Gary Vaynerchuk talks about that through social media, what he's saying is, don't come out and right hook, right hook, right hook, right hook. You're going to get exhausted. The other person's going to back up to the other side of the ring, and you're never going to make contact. That right hook is always when I turn on somebody's channel, or I listen to their podcast or their Facebook Live or whatever it is, and it's like, buy for me, buy for me, buy for me, buy for me. You want this, you want this, you want this, gotta try, gotta. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. And you don't even get a chance to connect to the other person. You don't get to connect to the person behind the sale. You don't get to connect to the person behind the product. When you take time to get to know people and you give and give and give and develop content and create content, all focused on what you can give to them, they're going to look and go, you know what? You have filled my glass so full. I now need to come to you to get that top piece filled up. Like, I know there's got to be something more. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. Show me what it is. What do I need to buy, do, see, say? Help me. And then even if you have to resort to the right hook, by then you've made such connection, such communication with them that when you ask for the sale, they're going to be, you know what? You deserve it. You deserve the sale. You have given and given and given. You have grown and grown and grown. You have added value to my life, to my business, to my company, to my team, to whatever I'm doing. That yes, you are fully entitled to ask for the sale. But there is nothing worse than being bombarded with the ask before you even get to know who I am. And so identify who it is you need to speak to, and then speak to them. And then number 4 sort of overlaps that. Meet their needs. Not what is your need. I got to make the golden chart, double award, purple star, whatever, pinnacle, and I need you to buy this product from me. But I will often ask somebody, so what is it you need from me? And I'll ask again, wait, what is it you need from me? And then I'll do tell me how you think I can help you meet that need. And then I'll pause and I'll reflect. I'm like, you know what? I think I can help you meet that need. Here are the resources, tools, or whatever that I have. How would you like to unpack them, explore them, discover them together? But if I'm not listening, then I can't hear what your needs are. And in order for me to build the community and build the connectiveness and build the trust that I need to grow a business successfully through social media, I need to be meeting your needs, not mine. And that requires discipline, it requires effort, it requires some work. You got to be willing to step up and do the work. And then number 5, and this is more on the business side, is track it. Understand there is an ROI, a return on your investment in social media. Now, so many people will get a Facebook ad and they'll post it and then they'll call me and go, hey, I got so many likes or views or, whatever. I'm like, well, how many click-throughs and what was the click-through rate and what was the conversion to sales and how many, I don't know. I just know it got seen by so many people. I'm like, you understand that means that it just rolled through their Facebook feed. Doesn't mean it even made it past their eyeballs and into their brain. It just means it rolled past. Or, oh, well, I got 22 likes. Okay. Did you engage with those likes? Did you comment to those likes? Did you connect one-on-one with those likes? Did you upscale them into another level of business, communication, connectivity? Oh, I've got so many followers. You know what? How's that working out? What's that doing for your business? If you're not analyzing what you're doing through social media and tracking the impact, then you're just flinging it against a wall and hoping it becomes something that it's not. You've got to understand that when you take time out of your day, out of your business to create social media, you have got to track the return into your business. Now, I will say, by and large, social media and social media content development takes a longer course in order to establish that know, like, and trust factor, because it is such a loud and crazy and chaotic space. You got to be there often enough, consistent enough, delivering the message tight enough to start to see that return. Now remember, there's this thing that says that we only remember about 10% of what we hear. And so if what I've said today and you only remember 10% of it and I don't show up for another week, that 10% is now down to 1%. But if I show up every single day and deliver the same content with the same pitch, the same idea, the same branding, the same marketing, that 10% stays and holds, and it actually begins to grow. That's why McDonald's has invested so much in real estate, because they want to be on every single corner, every single exit, every single visual landmark that they can create, so that pretty soon you don't think there's anybody else in the space that sells hamburgers. And they've been pretty good at reinforcing the brand. I would never go into McDonald's expecting to get lobster thermidor. I know what I get. And what does McDonald's sell? Some of us will think it's hamburgers. The truth is, what they really sell is efficiency and systems and delivering average food at an average price quickly and easily. I don't go to McDonald's because they have the best hamburgers. I go to McDonald's because I can get in, I can get out, and it's not complicated. And more they make it less complicated because I can now order it on my phone and park in a spot and somebody runs it out to my car. Understand what your marketing is about, understanding what your brand is, understanding who your audience is, understanding all of this as you begin to build your social media marketing will help you gain your foothold and will help you accelerate your business growth. But if you're just showing up and doing it occasionally and not really clear on what you're saying and not really clear on what you're doing and you're kind of confused and people are confused and you're not rebranding yourself throughout the message, then pretty soon you're going to feel exhausted, like none of this is working, it's all a lie, it must be me. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It just means that you haven't taken a business approach to your social media marketing. And so I want to check my notes here, because this, by the way, I will post the summary of this underneath the YouTube channel so that you can read the notes and grow from it. Do me a favor, make sure you subscribe. I do typically come on here every Thursday. Sometimes I pop in a little bonus extra one and you'll want to know about that. So by subscribing to my channel, guess what? You get to know about it. And if you want to get this kind of on a daily basis, over on my Facebook page, Eric G. Reed, I do a Facebook Live thing every single morning. But that's more about mindset. You should join me there. And there's always the blog where we summarize the whole week into one big thing. So, and that's Eric G. Reed too. See, the brand is consistent, Eric G. Reed. The vehicles of delivering the information and what I believe in changed quite a bit. So going over in summary, I wanted to say, first, think about the media presence in two stages. First, set up your brand, your pages, your profiles, on the big six: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google, YouTube, and Pinterest. Second, create your plan. Know that you're going to post on YouTube once a week, Facebook daily, LinkedIn 3 times a day, whatever it is. Chart it out, write it out, make a schedule, make a demand chart of yourself, and then hold to it. for 30 days, 60 days. Make sure that you're consistently hitting each of the markets, each of the top 6 in the same format and in the same timing zone kind of thing. So what do I mean by that? Don't post to LinkedIn, Monday, skip 2 weeks, come back 3 weeks. If you're gonna only be able to commit to doing it once a week, then commit to doing it once a week at the same time on the same day, because people will begin to look for you. They'll begin to know you, they'll begin to recognize you. If you're gonna do a Facebook Live or a Facebook post that's business specific, get consistent on it. Now, different social medias have sort of different rules of engagement. Twitter, you got to be like boom, 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 boom. The more often, the better, because the news feed and the news cycle and the kind of content moves through really, really rapidly. It's like a toll bridge, man. It's just clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking. LinkedIn is a slower thing. It's a little less demanding of attention and interaction. It's kind of a sharing, pausing, sharing, pausing. So you could do 1 a day, you could do 2 a day. 3 a day starts to get excessive. But then again, depending on the content and the message you're delivering, it may be appropriate. 2 times a week might be fine. Facebook, again, Facebook's algorithms and analytics are changing, that they really want high engagement on the content that you create. And so you've got to spend a lot of time letting people know that that content is coming, then delivering that content, then following up with that content. So you might find that Facebook once a week is going to require you to be engaged at a higher level than you're expecting. So once a week is fine. Once a day, maybe too much. But understand that where you're at in Pinterest and Instagram all have different formulas. They're all a little bit different. But think about how often you go to that particular social media. And then understand that your potential client or consumer is probably behaving in the same format. Now for me, I go to Instagram very rarely because that's not my place, that's not my niche, that's not my thing. But I do pay attention that there are clients and consumers on there that I have yet to reach. So I study their patterns and behaviors. I ask friends, coworkers, etc. Are you an Instagrammer? And somebody would be like, yeah, I love it. I'm like, so tell me about it. Tell me what it is you like. What do you look for? I Google things, top 10 Instagram posts of the year, top 10 Instagram accounts of the year, things like that. And I study them so that I can make sure that I'm modeling that behavior that I can use to grow my business. And then drive traffic cross platforms. As you heard me just a minute ago say, hey, if you want to check out my Facebook Lives at Eric G. Reed, I do this every single morning, or check out the blog, or check out our Instagram account. Make sure that what you're providing on each of those other accounts is different enough that if I take the time to leave YouTube and go over to Facebook, I'm still going to encounter Eric, but I'm going to encounter Eric at a different level, a different place, a different space than this. And so now I get 2 Erics. Same message, 2 different deliveries. Instagram, Pinterest, Google+, etc. You get where I'm going? Be you, but you be you in a lot of different places in a lot of different ways. Grow your community, grow your brand, grow your business through social media. But remember the key word, social is on the front. Media is just the hardware, the technology, the software, whatever you want to call it, the app that you're using to deliver that social interaction and engagement. And I'd really ask that you do me a favor and interact and engage with me through the comments below. Let me know, like, man, you hit it, Eric, you missed it there, you did kind of good here, you did kind of bad there. I'm going to start following you, I'm going to subscribe, etc., because that's how I get better at giving you what you need, is through the interactions, through the connectivity, through the engagement. And engagement, speaking of, I want to point out, because I'm kind of proud of it today, just found out that the podcast Success Life with Eric G. Reed is going to be picked up on iHeartRadio starting next week. And so we'll be able to be over there on iHeartRadio as we are currently on iTunes, so you can pick those up and learn a little bit more and grow your success and begin to build your life of success through Success Life and with me, your host, Eric G. Reed. So I hope you found these 5 sort of social media tips and tricks helpful. I'll give you a quick recap. So one was reinforce your brand. Number 2 was be thoughtful about when and where and how you post. Number 3 was identify your audience and speak to them. And number 4 was meet your needs. Meet their needs, the customer, the consumer. And then number 5 was track your results, right? Yeah, I got notes. Of course I got notes. I prepared ahead of time for this. And I'll put these notes in the comments section below. And if I can help you in any way, reach out to me. Easiest way to do that is go to my webpage, ericgreid.com, and click the connect button, and you and I will be chatting soon. All right, till we get a chance to speak soon, go out, have an awesome day. You're a success, and you are worthy of it. Bye-bye.